Life under the ocean is pretty weird. Divers, therefore, have a front row view to one of the strangest shows on Earth. We've all seen pictures or heard reports of unbelievable sea creatures and discoveries that lurk unseen beneath the waves. Most of what can be found in the oceans is still completely unknown to science, and this environment has produced some creatures that defy all imagination. Almost every time an expedition is launched, new and interesting life is brought back for further analysis. The ocean will always have the capacity to surprise us. With it being the site for the foundations of life as we know it, studying this vast wilderness is a vital task. So, we tip our hats to divers around the world who have managed to make some fascinating discoveries in one of the most hostile environments on Earth. After extensive research, we've put together the 5 strangest things divers have seen underwater and are sure you'll agree that they're pretty spectacular. Let's begin. Number 5. Ghosts. While few people outside of diving communities know about this, it's a well-known fact that ghosts do appear underwater. Now, that's a haunting piece of information. Many divers have reported seeing spooky visions and malevolent spirits coming at them. We think it would be scary enough to run into a ghost on dry land, but can't even imagine seeing something so terrifying while underwater and completely out of our element. It also isn't hard to imagine that help isn't coming quickly. For starters, underwater, nobody can hear you scream, much like space. Both environments are extremely hostile to human life, and in both situations, if any number of tiny little things goes wrong, you're a goner. If underwater ghosts actually are a thing, they probably don't have much work to do. Inducing heart attacks is so much easier to pull off during a dive, and then there's that whole lack of oxygen icing on the cake. Given the pros and cons, it's actually surprising that we don't hear more about ghosts attacking divers. Think about it. They spent a huge amount of their time exploring reefs and shipwrecks that have each taken countless lives. If there's anywhere on Earth that should be haunted, it's deep beneath the waves, with the specter at the helm of his ship still plundering those foolish enough to cross his path. Yarr. Fun and games aside, the number of accounts given by divers who aren't usually superstitious is a little unnerving, to say the least. Scientists have come forth with evidence that suggests the environment lends itself to bodily stress, which can have a multitude of symptoms, including hallucinations. The bends, a common and potentially deadly condition that results from ascending too quickly, has been known to cause such symptoms, and the hallucinations reported include many that focus on ghosts seen. Furthermore, it's very difficult to see underwater. With such unknown and fantastic scenery, our minds can easily play tricks on us, leading us to see things that aren't necessarily there. Either way, underwater ghosts would definitely be a strange sight. Number 4. Baltic Anomaly. This object was discovered in 2011 quite publicly by a team from Ocean X. They're a group of treasure hunters and salvagers who scour the ocean floor for artifacts and sunken antiques. Their discovery has been the subject of intense speculation ever since then, with some heated debates arising. Even now, nothing is really known about its origins, no matter who you ask. Scientists can't explain yet how it was created, or if it was man-made, what its purpose was. What is known is that without further study, this mystery will probably continue to baffle experts and amateurs alike. Adding to this is the fact that divers have reported all electronic equipment ceasing to function on approach to the object. No matter what angle or protective methods they use to shield their devices, this cannot be overcome. Even more mysterious and strange is that it seems to emit radio waves that are strong enough to be picked up by sensors. Unfortunately, it's hard to properly evaluate the signal without functioning equipment. Since all electronics stop working around 200 meters from the site, the signal remains a mystery. The area under the object also appears to show a staircase leading down into a dark hole, further adding to the mystery. Many have claimed that this is a geological formation, but others refute this, pointing out that the markings and shape look very much like they're human in origin and are quite intricate. Those who claim that this is a natural formation have pointed to the composition of samples taken from the area, which suggests that it contains a large amount of sandstone, basalt, and granite. This is usually clear evidence of glacial and post-glacial processes. Many sites around the world have shown strange markings that later turned out to be the work of glaciers. Proponents of the idea have theorized that the rock could have simply fallen off while in transit, being deposited where it is now located. Additionally, a study that concluded that the materials found in the object could not possibly have been naturally occurring was later tossed out, citing the chemical makeup of certain nodules known to live on the ocean floor as proof. Number 3. Goblin Shark. This creature is just as strange and terrifying as its name suggests. The Goblin Shark is also one of those rare specimens that science considers to be a living fossil, remaining practically unchanged since the time of the dinosaurs. Its lineage can be traced back to around 125 million years ago, which makes it a very hardy creature. Even by shark standards, this thing is a dinosaur, which is saying a lot. Not one to disappoint, this deep-sea creature fits the bill perfectly. It has a long snout that protrudes from its head that is able to sense the electric fields given off by its prey. Its impressive jaws and freaky-looking teeth are then able to make an easy meal out of anything unlucky enough to come across it. Being relatively flabby in appearance, it's expected that the Goblin Shark is rather slow, but nobody really knows for sure. Nothing is known of their reproductive cycle or its migration habits. They are often caught in nets and are known to grow to an average of a few meters in length, although some specimens caught have been much larger. This, along with the fact that younger specimens are generally caught closer to the surface with older sharks caught by deeper nets, suggests that the Goblin Sharks that are the largest are probably located too deep for us to easily locate them for proper evaluation. Perhaps the strangest part of this shark's anatomy is its jaws, which can be extended and protrude before opening up extremely wide. It must be restated that this is not something you want to come across while swimming. Its ancient appearance and rows of razor-sharp teeth are nothing to mess with. They've been known to attack humans and have even been found in lakes in the southern US. More common these days, it's assumed that they've had to migrate from traditional habitats in order to survive. Number 2. Deep sea bacteria. Nobody will judge you for being a little disgusted with this discovery. If we found a colony of bacteria living on the ocean floor, it would probably send a shiver up our spine too. While not being all that creepy, it's definitely somewhat repulsive. Of course, there's good bacteria along with the bad bacteria. We just don't know where mysterious deep sea bacteria sits on that scale, and we'd prefer not to find out the hard way. Turns out that the bacteria was found after punching through the ocean floor and drilling down 1,000 feet into the crust and sediment. There, they found the unexplainable bacteria that was actually thriving in its unorthodox environment. They were, in fact, feeding off residue that had been trapped there for millions of years. Much like the bacteria and viruses that have been discovered in icy regions across the world in recent years, these little guys are seriously ancient and have probably been undisturbed for the entirety of their imprisonment so far away from any other forms of life. It's widely known that bacteria was found thriving in the Marianas Trench, especially around underwater hydrothermal vents that protrude from deep within the Earth's crust. That discovery pales in comparison to this one, which concluded once again that life really does manage to survive in the most hostile of climates. Considering we found this pocket so readily in the samples brought back up, it suggests that we are probably due to find many more microorganisms in the future that will similarly toss our current worldview into disarray. Upon further inspection of the samples, it was found that these bacteria probably take up to 1,000 years to divide, making their progress seem inconsequential. This is noteworthy because it means that we can't actually be sure if these critters are still alive beyond the shadow of a doubt. They do still have intact DNA and have been found to have retained enough energy to keep their basic functions theoretically intact, much like a tardigrade would. With their oxygen supply gone long ago, however, it's a miracle we found them preserved at all. Number 1. Huge, deep sea whirlpools. These are seriously cool for so many reasons. First of all, the plumes that are caused by these whirlpools are pretty much impossible to see. They occur really deep in the ocean and aren't seen much outside this area. That's why in '86, scientists were amazed when they realized they were dealing with one while they watched it develop. Nobody at the time knew what they were looking at. It was later discovered that these whirlpools of superheated water were caused by magma forcing enormous amounts of gases and material through deep sea vents. If the pressures are large enough and the temperature hot enough, these jets cause massive whirlpools to form on the ocean floor that sometimes rise as high as 1 kilometer from their point of origin. The plume found in 1986 was 20 kilometers across, 600 meters thick, and was warmer than the water around it by 0.25 degrees Celsius. That's absolutely enormous, and the increase in temperature is astounding. While it doesn't sound like much, 0.25 degrees makes a huge difference when it comes to how currents react with each other. These fluctuations can cause some wild effects that we can't even imagine at the moment. The coolest part about these whirlpools is that after dropping a probe down 2 kilometers and waiting patiently, a team found that these plumes can potentially last up to 1 full year without dissipating, and possibly much more. This one point alone is pretty miraculous. Just think. Right now, there could be a massive underwater whirlpool tearing its way through the world's oceans for the next year or so, wreaking untold havoc on our weather systems, and we wouldn't even have a clue that it exists. That just goes to show how strange the oceans really are. We've been studying this phenomenon since the early 90s, and even now we still know nothing about it, even though it's probably been quietly affecting the world's weather right under our noses for the entirety of human history. And there, you have 5 strangest things divers have seen underwater. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like and share it. And if you haven't already, subscribe down below to get notified almost every single day with new videos from Top 5's finest. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, we are